Hi there, it's Jo here from Creative Empowerment. I'm back with another pick a card reading. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Hi, my name's Jo and I make pick a card readings, and well, I think that's pretty much what I'm doing on my channel at the moment. But I also do private readings. If you would like a private reading, there is a link in the description box below. Also, if you'd like to win a private reading with me, you can go to my Facebook page and like and follow Creative Empowerment Australia. And each week there is a weekly draw where you can enter each week, and you'll see all the details on the page and go in the running to win a free reading with me. Okay, so now you know all of that. Let's get stuck into what we're doing today. So we're focusing on the animal kingdom. So you might be someone who gets messages from birds or penguins. I suppose a bird is still a penguin. I mean, a penguin is still a bird. Or whales or dolphins or unicorns or whatever magical, whatever animal kingdom personality you're visited by, and you may not be paying attention. Now, there are times in life where we kind of see repeated signs and we don't take any notice. And so the animal kingdom came up very strongly today for me to make this video about. And part of me went, I don't know what that's going to be about. Anyway, so one of the things about animal spirits or the animal kingdom is it has lots of messages for us. There's signs being sent for us to take notice of from the spirit world. We don't see these things by chance. There's always a reason why we're seeing them. So today's reading is kind of like to highlight that you might see them on the side of a truck or a bus or a book, or someone might be talking about it. You may not see the physical dog, I've got two dogs here. You may not see a dog, but you may see a symbol of a dog, and it may be the same symbol, or it may show up in all these different ways. And this is the animal kingdom's way and spirit's way of connecting with us, communicating to us, and trying to get a message through to us. They're always talking to us. Just then I got a little fly that tried to fly up my nose. So they're definitely always talking to us. Pay attention. So now I need to ask myself, what was that all about? And I will later on. Now, often when we see, if you're anything like me, you might see animal spirit messages or, the fly up the nose. So I might Google the message that's from a tiny little fly. And flies are about abundance. Flies are about all sorts of things, So you can take in whatever message that you get, that you find. Make sure that you go through a really reputable site. There are some there that just talk about crap. So just make sure that you find a good one. But check in, what does it mean to you? You might have a thought or a memory that comes up. If you see or hear about a certain animal, insect, bird, creature, mythical creature, your impressions are just as important as that person that you know on Google or that site that you go and check these things out. Do you have a memory that comes up around that animal? Does it make you feel a certain thing? Is there a time in your life that it reminds you of? It may not have any relation to that, but you just may get psychic impressions that your body may, start communicating to you. So take notice and note those things for yourself. Don't just always go to that outside, thing. Now, a lot of these sites where they look at animal totems, spirits, all those things, they usually got some really good information, particularly if you go to a reputable one. And ancient peoples used to live with animals. They used to work in nature much more than we do, and they don't have as many distractions. So their take on what the animal was about, because they watched it and learned from it, they're probably going to be really high class information there. But don't discount yourself. So if I talk to you about an animal today, and let's say for a whale, and everything that I say is wrong, then listen to you. There's probably something in the message from the reading for you, but maybe my connection with your connection, they're different, So just go with what you get. And of course, these are general messages for a group. There's some guidance from the animal kingdom for you here. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been drawn to this video. But the main thing about this video is to bring your awareness to the fact that there is something being communicated here to you, and maybe you're overlooking it. What has that bird that, you know, has been coming to you, trying to get that message to you? You know, if it's a falcon, you know, then what is a falcon known for? You know, you don't have to look that up in particular on that kind of animal website, but maybe what are they known for? What's the creature known for? What are their talents and abilities? And do any of those ring bells for you? You know, stop and listen and notice what was happening when you saw that animal spirit or the animal. Anyway, that was my preamble, but Spirit really did want me to put in a bit more information there today and give you a bit more of a, I suppose, setting the scene for today's reading. Now I'm going to introduce you to the 4 piles, which you will have seen in the thumbnail, but you may not have had a very good look at them. So I'm going to give you the first card, and each pile has got a feather. So the first pile, so I've got this teeny tiny little feather, and I don't know what it's from. I found it and it was so divine that I just wanted to take it home. So if that is drawing you. But the other thing we have here for your pile is this is a form of an animal spirit guide. Now, it may be one that has shown up for you or maybe not yet, but it is coming in quite strong for you, pile number 1. So if this is drawing your attention, then you can skip ahead and find your reading. Pile number 2 has the beautiful white feather, beautiful white delicate feather there. And also you have the owl spirit guide. And again, this is coming in the reverse, animal spirit. So it'll be interesting to find out what's going on there for you, pile number 2. And then pile number 3, we have your feather is the beautiful falcon feather. So now if you're from somewhere else in the world, it may not look like your falcon feathers, but that's what that is. And your particular cards, you've got 2. Earthworm and snake, and they're both in reverse. So let's see what we're looking at there, and they're both going round and round in circles. So again, let's find out what those guides are. Yours don't necessarily feel like guides, pile 3. Yours feel a little bit different. So we might get to a different stage with yours. I haven't filmed the readings yet. And then pile number 4. Yours is firefly and it's reversed, and we have the beautiful bright feather, which kind of looks a bit similar to your actual card as well. So when you know which pile or piles are calling you, you can jump ahead to your reading of the feathers and the cards so that you can have a closer look at them and see which pile or piles are calling you, and then you can jump ahead to your reading all about the animal spirit kingdom and any signs and messages that they are sending you. And I'll see you there. Hi there, pile number 1, if you chose the little tiny feather and the wolf, then this is your reading. So the wolf is a teacher. The wolf is an animal spirit guide, and I've got my 2 dogs just coming in now, both wanting to, like, they're right under me. Wolf is a teacher, is a guide, is the, you know, they go in packs, they hunt in packs. They're very much a pack animal, as in they support each other. You might be a teacher or a mentor, or you might be in need of one or ready for a new one. So that's our first message for you. The other thing this feels like for me around from the animal kingdom is I feel like this is a very strong desire within you, whatever this is, whether you're thinking about becoming a teacher or whether you need a teacher, whichever one of those 2 things is for you, it's a very strong need. You know, there's no messing around with this. I've got a very strong feeling about it. So maybe you're looking for a teacher, because the message here from this animal spirit guide is there is a solution to every problem. Let me just make sure you can see that. We create habits and problems to fulfill needs. When I can find a positive way to fulfill the need, I can release the problem. So you may be somebody who's struggling with an addiction, with a habit or a compulsion that you can't let go of or don't feel like you can let go of, and it feels like a big thing. So the ladder, it feels like something that it maybe is too big for you to handle. So perhaps that's why the animal kingdom is calling out the need for you to get a mentor, to get a support person, to get a teacher, because it feels like you don't think you can solve this problem. Like you need a ladder to get up to tie the shoe, put the shoelace in the shoes, and there's only one hole that's got the lace in it, which is giving me the impression that it feels like it's too much, it's too big, it's overwhelming, there's an overwhelm feel here, which is why you need the mentor, the teacher. And the challenge for you, which is the message feels like it's already given us the challenge, but it's, I love and accept myself right now. I'm in the process of becoming my own best friend and the person I am most joyous to be with. So perhaps you're suffering from some mental health issues, perhaps you're just in a rut and cannot get out of it, or feel like you can't get out of it. I treat myself with unconditional love. I feel my heart opening, and I know that there is room in there for me. So there's some deep sort of messages here in the challenge section, and perhaps you're finding it really hard to love yourself at the moment. Perhaps you're finding it really hard to accept how you're feeling about whatever this is that's coming up in your life. And here's my other dog come in and say hello, my other wolf. And that's really quite funny, because my old dog, who's no longer with us, but his spirit name was Wolfie. So I've never really sort of said that before, and I may edit that out. So you may be somebody who's being visited, through the spirit world from an ex-companion of yours. You may be, you may have a spirit animal, literally one that you have had as an ex-pet, may be very, very close to you at this time, and perhaps they are a teacher for you. My whole body is quite shaking, so perhaps this idea for you might be very soothing for some frayed nerves, it feels like. Perhaps you're going through a very rough time. Perhaps you've recently lost a pet. And pets are wonderful for this, this idea of I treat myself with unconditional love, because pets remind us about unconditional love, because they help us be kinder to ourselves, because we have to be kind to them. And, they help us feel it so that we can get more of it in our own lives. Now, the next card we have is what you might be missing at this time in your life, or from this. Now, I'm really cold, okay? So it's become very cold where I am. My dog's wet nose is quite cold too, but I'm feeling a lot of coldness. So you may really have a lot of spirit animal energy around you, because I am getting that coldness. Now, these two cards are emotion and communication. And again, this is really tied into this idea of perhaps you have lost a pet that was quite significant to you, that feels like, a lot of emotion has been tied up with that, but you can't let it go. You're a bit frightened to access the feelings that come up with that. We've got the moon there, we've got Cancer in this emotion card, and Cancer is all about feeling at home. It's all about, feeling safe, feeling like you belong and all that sort of stuff. And then the emotion, and we've also got, was it Gemini? about communication. Yes, Gemini, about communication, peas in a pod, that idea of things that fit in your life. And these are both in the challenge position. They're both upside down. And this is the thing that you're missing. So perhaps you're missing this communication with the animal that gave you unconditional love, that supported you emotionally, that you could talk to and let your feelings out. And perhaps you need a new way of opening that communication with either that spirit communicator, the animal, or just getting your feelings and emotions out in a journaling or some other way, singing or whatever. The message is that you have to be strong at this time. So it does feel like we are talking about a particular story here, and the storyline, and there's my dog in the background, and the storyline feels the same. It doesn't feel like it's changing. Sometimes when we get different cards, they feel like they change and adapt the story, but this does not. The strength here feels like, and it's got little lion cubs on it too, this, and butterflies. So perhaps this could be a cat, or this could be, you might be getting some signs from butterflies about your lost pet, or this could even be a loved one for some of you. It feels more along the animal lines, but if you had someone that you've lost who's very much that you could communicate with, and you felt like, two peas in a pod, then this feels like it's related to that as well. So subconsciously, what's going on for you with this message from the animal spirit or the animal kingdom is, it feels like the 10 of Cups. So it feels like subconsciously you feel like you won't have that again, that you won't have that contentment again, that perhaps, your fulfillment, your joy, all of those things, they feel like they've been, well, part of me wants to say ripped from you. Your contentment is definitely being challenged at the moment. And I want to bring in another card here, because there was doubt in my mind about whether that was the right message, because the 10 of Cups came in the upright position, which would tend to make me think that, that you were expecting those things. But because it's a subconscious thing, it didn't feel like it was in the upright position. So I wanted to draw some more cards. And we have Salmon, determination. You know where you're going and you'll get there. And Lion, courage, ask for what you want. So we had the Lion Cubs in the Strength card, and we have the Lion. So again, if we relate this to the tarot, the Strength card is the Leo. So I feel like you are going through perhaps a grieving period, or a loss. You're feeling a loss, and this internal contentment, or this ability to feel at home and happy with yourself and your life at the moment is maybe not turned upside down. For some of you that may definitely be the case, but for a lot of you it'll just be challenged at the moment more so. But I love that salmon there, because it's showing you that it's going off into the future. Where you are right now is not going to stay where you are. You're going to be in a better position, soon enough. And then we have our guidance here, future guidance from the animal world or the animal kingdom, and it's the bull, and it's in the reverse. So bulls are very stubborn creatures, and if you want to make a bull move forward and it doesn't want to, then you're going to have a real big struggle on your hands. And we've talked about the scenario, we've talked about the scene that we're here looking at. We're looking for help, assistance, a teacher, a mentor, because there is this situation in your life that feels like it's beyond your reach right now. And perhaps you're being asked, perhaps other family members or people around you are asking you, pile number one, to go and get some help, to do something about it, to make some changes. And the guidance here is that if you choose to stay stuck, and if you choose to dig your heels in, then absolutely you'll be able to, because the bull is unmovable. But you'll be missing the point. People around you are not asking you to move forward because they don't love you and support you. They want you to put this to rest. They want you to put it down. They want you to say goodbye to it. They want you to become the person that you are and, you know, step back into the whole you. So the King of Wands there, very passionate, very decisive individual. And we've got the determination there, very strong, and, you know, lots of, you know, drive and passion, excitement, all that sort of stuff. And I feel like at the moment that the animal kingdom want to remind you of your own virility. You know, the bull, we know what a bull, you know, has huge testes, and part of his reason for being there is to impregnate all of the cows, to create more cows. So there's some aspect for you, pile number one, that is about regaining your strength, regaining your virility, or, you know, your stamina, your strength, all of those things, and regaining who you are. So now I'm going to pull some, you know, these are the signs that you may see from the animal kingdom to encourage you along your path. Let's have a look what animals want to come out for you that are going to support you, that are going to encourage you. What have we got? Sandpiper spirit. Now that's an obscure bird and it's something that I've never heard of. So for me, I would probably make that a more general characteristic. So perhaps it's a bird that has those sorts of, that looks like that, has those long legs on, long legs and long beak. And this bird looks like it's, you know, playing in the water. So perhaps it's that kind of soft energy of playfulness from a bird. And then we have and it's about being playful. Sorry. And then grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. And both of those cards make so much sense within your reading. But then these are also the things that, you know, if you see crickets or grasshoppers. So again, I'm generalizing, because you may notice something and you think to yourself, that's a cricket, that's not a grasshopper. Well, who cares? It's got a similar body and they're going to have similar things, because they're both things that can jump really high, and they don't, you know, they don't need anything to propel them forward. They're actually, they've got this very strong body and long legs, and their ability to jump really high is super important for you. That idea of the King of Wands, that idea of regaining that aspect of you, that's super important for you. So it's about noticing, you know, and the other thing is I'm noticing here he's got a little crown on. So it's about noticing the bits that are important for you. Taking a leap of faith is you understanding that someone's going to support you in this process. You don't have to do it all yourself. If you take the steps and if you trust that there's going to be this support for you, then it'll show up. Then you might start seeing grasshoppers or crickets, or playful birds with long legs and spiky beaks that are playing. You know, take notice of the animal kingdom around you. You may notice wolves, you may notice lions, you may even notice salmon, and bull as well. You may notice the bull. If you're kicking your heels in, and the other one here is crane. There's 3 cranes here. But if you're noticing that you're being very stubborn, you might start seeing animals that represent stubborn. We're not all going to see the same animals. You certainly might, but this is a group reading, so there's going to be general themes. They're not going to be as specific as if I was talking to you. Thank you for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Make sure you please give it a thumbs up if you've been here to the end. Make sure to share it with family and friends. And remember, if you'd like to win a private reading, there is a link to my Facebook page. Follow the page and follow the weekly win a reading prompts. Hope to see you again in the future. Bye for now. Hi there, pile number 2. If you picked the beautiful white delicate feather, not sure whether it comes from a dove or something else, but it's very delicate. And your card is the owl, and it's in the reverse. Now, owls are about wisdom. They're also about magic. In this particular deck, I think that the main thing here is about wisdom. So I'm getting a big message about trust. My base chakra is really sort of closing in and clamping down. I feel like there's been something going on for you lately, which has kind of dialed your life up to 100. You know, like there's a lot of fight or flight going on. There's a lot of self-doubt, and there's a limited awareness of, you know, perhaps your own self about what you've been doing to contribute to this situation. Now, I don't think it's all you. I'm not getting that at all. But I do feel like perhaps you're a little bit unconscious with some of your actions and you're not completely aware of what you're doing. And this owl is about wisdom and self-wisdom. Owls are very much about magic and seeing through things as well. And I feel because this is coming in reversed, that perhaps you're dimming a bit of your own magic, because it's not that you're not choosing to see this situation, but you're a bit blinded by sort of like the mundane bits about life. You're just getting on with it. And I think that it's like it's closing part of your life in, like, you know, that the darkness around the owl. I feel like your life's closing in around you. You don't feel like you are closing in, but I do feel like this, you know, there are aspects of your life that are closing in around you. So our next cards are to do with messages and challenges from that particular animal spirit guide. And your message is, here we go. My body, like everything else in life, is a mirror of my inner thoughts and beliefs. Every cell responds to every single thought I think and every word I speak. And the card, or the other part on the other side, I listen with love to my body's messages. And that's absolutely perfect for what I was just talking about with this. Like, I feel like there's part of you that is turned off a bit of your inner wisdom. And I feel like this is what the animal kingdom want you to know, that you're actually someone who's quite psychic or sensitive or, you know, creative, or maybe all of those things, but you've turned off a bit of your inner wisdom. And whether that's due to fear, whether that's due to worry, but those two feel like the main things that I'm sort of picking up on at the moment. And the challenge, I think, here is I am a natural winner, but it's on the side. It says, I only listen to the winners, people who know what they are doing and who live a joyous, loving, prosperous life. Now, it's on the side here because I feel like this idea of I only listen to winners, it's about whose judgment, whose discernment are you using when you're listening to winners? Perhaps your mental picture or your ability to pick the winners at the moment is a bit skewed because you're not listening to your natural inner wisdom. You're not listening to the messages of your body as good as you would normally. Your beliefs are clouding your judgment at the moment, pile number 2. And that's really this message from owl. So you may have been noticing owls, you may not. You may have been noticing another animal spirit or another animal guide that's more around this idea of magic. So it could be crow or some other animal that you may feel of as magic. Okay, so our next cards are the things that you're missing at the moment. So the animal spirit messages, and we've got an 11, so we've got that reversed, and we've got transition reverse. I'm going to turn it upside down because it's hard for me to read it backwards and look at the screen at the same time. So we've got the 11, we've got the Cancer here, so that comfort level. We've got the moon. Moon is all about our secrets, about the things that perhaps bother us but we don't want to let other people know about. And then we have the candle, which has been blown out. The candle is not burning. So perhaps you're going through a transitional time at the moment, and that's why your inner messages or your inner knowing or your ability to focus on the messages that you are getting, perhaps it's either a bit skewed, or perhaps you're choosing not to pay attention to it because it's not the message that you want to hear. But you do feel like you're going through a transition, but you're not accepting of the transition. You know, the cauliflower, it's very mundane. Cancer card, or the Cancer sign, is very much about the home, about feeling safe. And I did talk about my base chakra before with this group. So from the animal kingdom, they want to tell you that they see all of this, that you're missing your own, how much you've dialed your body up to worry. And they want you to know that this is, you know, they're aware of this and they're seeing it, and they want to draw your attention to it. Now, I have talked about the home a lot. I've talked about you not listening to what you might normally listen to. And then we have the travel card here. So you may need to plan a trip away. You may have just been on a trip away. There may be something around a trip for you, or it may be the sign from the animal kingdom that you need to do more, that you can't just stay home and have change come to your door. Have change knock upon your door and it be exactly what you've been waiting for. Perhaps you're going to need to step into the future a bit more here. You're going to have to meet things halfway at least, if not more. It feels like halfway for most of you. It doesn't feel like any more. Now the next card here we have is about what subconsciously, what are these signs? Now I know I haven't directly talked about a sign, which I will do at the end of this reading. I will bring in signs for you to look for, but you may have been seeing white feathers. That could be one of yours. You could be seeing owls. White is important for you. We have the cauliflower, we have the owl, and then we have the white feather. These are all white objects. White is about purity. White is about strength, honesty, you know, like there's black and white, things like that. Now, subconsciously, what is going on here? We have the, there we go. We have the Five of Swords. So you can see there that we've got some snake energy there. We also, if it was reversed, it could even look like a little bit like the mythical Caduceus. Now, this card is about upheaval and conflict and things like that. Now, subconsciously, you know, this idea of transition, you're aware that transitions, they bring us challenges. They shake things up. But, you know, maybe you've had enough of being shaken up and maybe you don't want any more shaking up. So maybe you're gripping really tightly to this idea of, I know what I want, I know what I want. But maybe spirit, maybe animal spirit, maybe the animal kingdom wants you to know that by gripping tightly, all you'll do is, you know, if that sword was to be pulled out from beneath the snake, it would hurt it, would make it bleed. So by holding on so tightly when you're going through a period of transition, maybe you're only going to hurt yourself. So that idea of trusting that the owl and listening to your body's messages, they're messages here that you're probably much more aware of what's happening in your life at the moment than you're giving yourself credit for. Now, I'm going to bring in some guidance from the animal kingdom. And I just want to get a couple of tarot cards to support the card that's come in for you. We have, I'll show you in a second. I'm going to take that one. That's it. Okay. So we have the Salmon card, which is a great card in the Druid Animal Oracle deck. These cards are so beautiful, and if you'd like to see a video with them, there's a couple of videos that I've made. Look in my playlists. The salmon here, you can see that pink belly, the underbelly of the salmon, and you can see that while the salmon is jumping completely out of the water, I think it's for a chestnut up here, they've got their goal, they've got their mind set. they also are out of the water. So they're out of their habitat. It's just below them, and they know that when they've made that reach, that when they drop back down, they're going to be supported. They're going to go back into that nourishment, back into their element. So the message here from the animal kingdom is that, yes, at the moment you may feel like you have to travel a bit far. You have to go out of your element to get what it is that you want to focus on. But you can do it, because when you've finished, you'll get supported again. You'll come back into your natural environment, and everything around you is supporting you. It's framing you. It's cradling you. And the thing that you want is within reach. It's really quite close. You're very determined. There is a flow coming in for you, but you have to go back to the owl and start taking notice of your innate wisdom, your innate body messages. You know, everything, all the wisdom that comes from within you is not your head. It is your body. It is the signs and symbols that you see around you. It is spirit. It is the connection to all of those things that I've just mentioned. And salmon is seen for the Druids is the oldest animal. I don't know whether it was there was 4 animals that came first, and salmon is like the oldest, the wisest. And you've got salmon and owl. So there is a lot of wisdom in you, pile number 2. So we want to use the wisdom, and maybe you have to jump a little bit higher than you were thinking to get where you're going next. But where you're going is pretty fantastic. So we have, I don't know which way you're going to see them. So we have the Empress in the reverse. So it feels like you might be bringing a period of your life where you've had to be more concerned about others and putting yourself on the back burner. Perhaps that's stepping down a bit. Perhaps you're able to take more time focusing on yourself, because this is the world here. The world here is telling you that there's a lot on offer for you. There's all these different directions coming into your life that you're able to take notice of now, because perhaps you don't need to put all your efforts into, looking after other people. I'm not going to say motherhood, because it feels very much about looking after others, whether that's a spouse, whether that's children, whether that's in a work environment, whether that's, a sibling, whatever, or your parents as they're older. But this is that idea of there's a time frame for you coming up where you can achieve some of the things that you've wanted to achieve, but you have to stop dismissing your inner wisdom and your body's wisdom. The animal kingdom really wants you to know that it's time for you. This is what we're looking at, time for you. Now, if this natural winner card, I am a natural winner. I only listen to the winners, people who know what they're doing and who live a joyous, loving, prosperous life. Now, if you're focusing your awareness on people who are, millionaires or billionaires or whatever, some sort of aspirational thing that's not you, then I feel like you need to refocus and come back to who is it that you admire? Who is it that you trust? Who is it that has a balance in life that you're looking for? Like, you really need to reconnect with what your idea of a winner is. And that makes a lot of sense. Well, these cards now make a lot of sense. We have antelope, which is decisiveness. I absolutely freaking love that for you. And we have fox, adaptability. So now antelope is one of those animals that, we might see as a bit hyper alert. So perhaps for some of you that there's PTSD here that you need to overcome and move beyond. Perhaps you're going through, some recent trauma or even an old trauma that you're processing and that it's coming up for you to heal. Fox is talking about adaptability. So antelope, make a decision and take appropriate action and adapt to the changes that are happening. They're absolutely spot on. But you may notice one of these animals. So these are the ones for you to pay attention to. You may notice foxes, you may notice antelope or other horned sort of deer-like creatures, because I'm going to generalize that particular animal just a little bit more. But the messages are decisiveness and adaptability, and that makes so much sense for you. Your guidance and your watch out for this. It's about you holding space for yourself. It's about you being present for yourself and adapting to your life on its terms, you know, what it's presenting you. As it comes up to you, what is it you need to focus on? You know, let the animal spirit, or let the animal kingdom talk to you. Let the animal kingdom, you know, highlight the things that you need to pay attention to. If you keep seeing fox, then it's about adapting, you know, making changes, being light on your feet. Think about all the things that fox is about. And if you see the antelope, it's about making a decision. So two beautiful animal kingdom creatures coming to you to give you the clues about the steps to take next. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, Creative Empowerment Australia, to make sure that you can win a private reading with me if you would like to. Thanks for being here. I hope to see you again in the future. And please share this with family and friends if you've enjoyed it. Bye for now. Oh, hi there, pile number 3. If you chose the hawk feather or the falcon feather, then this is your reading today, all about the animal kingdom and signs from the animal kingdom. And you have 2 cards for your animal guide messages. So you've got snake and earthworm, and they're both in the reverse. They're both earth animals, so animals that are very low to the ground, but at this moment they are reversed. So, you know, there's got to be a message there for you. They're both also in a circle. So the earthworm is crossing over itself and inside, and it's making a loop. And then inside there is this beautiful rainbow kind of coloured energy, or, you know, sacral. My dogs are deciding that it's time to play. Sacral energy, solar plexus energy, and what's the other colour there? Like a bluey kind of colour and a bit of pink. And then the snake energy is green, purple, and another sort of bluey colour. So if you look at both of these animal spirit guides, they're both, one swallowing its own tail, which is a symbol of eternity with the flower of life inside. And then the earthworm is, you know, all tied up in knots. So the messages here for you is perhaps there's, you know, perhaps there's a continuation of something going on, definitely. Snake is about rebirth. So there's that idea that you may be shedding old skin and moving on, that you may even have to eat the old skin, you know, like as it's shedding off. I don't know if snakes do that actually, but you know, that idea of you know, leaving it behind as you move forward. But there's definitely something being worked on within both of these creatures. However, we're also looking at them in the reverse. So you may know that there's something going on. You may be able to see that from, you know, up in a high distance, which is what a hawk or a falcon is all about. But maybe there's something there that you're not quite seeing the gift in. You know, maybe there's maybe like the word martyr is coming in. So perhaps maybe you're feeling like a martyr. Maybe you're feeling like, you know, that you maybe not watching anybody else go through this, and so maybe thinking, why me? Why does it have to be me? You know, all that kind of stuff. But we are looking at some big changes happening here. Snake is very much about transformation, and earthworm, yeah, like if we look at around the snake, we've got the darkness, and around the earthworm, we've got this line energy. So it's got the white and the black, and And the earthworm itself has got all those lines on it. So, and then there's the very, the intricate scales that are on the snake. So perhaps there's a lot of details. Perhaps there's a lot to take in as you're processing through this transformation or transformative time that you're going through. Now, the other interesting thing is that both of your cards are in the reverse, both of these cards. So one is a message and one is a challenge. And the message is, I create wonderful new beliefs for myself, but that's in the challenge. Life is very simple. I create my experiences by my thinking and feeling patterns. What I believe about myself and about life becomes true for me. But again, these are in the reverse. So perhaps you know those things. Perhaps it's an understanding that you have, but when life is challenging you, perhaps it's harder to continue to have that way of thinking about yourself. So it's it's easy to say but harder to do, or harder to live it and breathe it. And this last card here, which is the challenge, I have unlimited potential. Let me move that because the lighting's not good there. Loving myself and thinking joyful, happy thoughts is the quickest way to create a wonderful life. And again, this come up this way for you. So we've got movement, we've got a bird, we've got the round and round. See the round and round going on there? And this came out like that. So now if you look at this, the way this has come out, it's got the person taking a dive. They've got a briefcase with them. So perhaps, for some of you, this could be around the work that you do. And then we have this bird soaring up. And it almost gives me that impression of a phoenix rising because of the long tail, rising up. So, take whatever resonates from that message, but that's all about I have unlimited potential. Again, reversed. So I feel like you're going through quite a challenging situation, but you are going through a massive upgrade. You're going through a period where it's like you can see here, you can see this bit around you and see this quite clearly, and you're in it because it's like you're in a bit of a pot. Sort of pot stewing, and we do have this round aspect here, but you can't see anything beyond that, which is why you've got the hawk, which is why you've got the falcon. I keep calling it a hawk, but it's why you've got that particular feather, because perhaps this is your challenge at the moment. You've got those guides, animal spirit guides, talking to you about being very much down in everything that you're doing and not being able to get up and out of the situation. Now, the message here is continuance. Now, this message I had to look up. An apple is a symbol of love. We also have, I think that's a Capricorn symbol here, hardworking. But continuance is actually about knowing that the abundance is there, knowing that things are going to be there for you, and you have it in the reverse. So again, another message from the animal kingdom saying that you're doubting that this situation that you're in right now is going to turn out in the right way for you. Your beliefs about the new, the wonderful beliefs for yourself, they're being challenged because part of you doesn't believe the rhetoric that life is very simple. I create my experiences by my thinking and feeling patterns. What I believe about myself and life becomes true for me. So at the moment, if you're in it, and if you're in the crap, and even this, it's circular again, and if you're in the crap that you're experiencing, there's the fly again, bigger fly than there was before. And you may be in this sort of whirlpool or vortex or whatever sort of energy, and perhaps you can't see the right way up at the moment, and that's why you can't see forward or out of where you feel like you are. The next card for you, which is the message. Oh, hang on. Oh, that was what you were missing. That the fact that it's going to right itself, the fact that there is abundance here, that it's going to continue for you, that life will come up smelling of roses. I suppose maybe that's taking it too far. And then this is the message, the trust. Now, again, we've got it in the reverse because you're not trusting that life is going to get taken care of. You're too busy being distracted. Now, sorry, it sounds very like I'm judging you, but these are the messages that I'm getting to give you. You're getting too busy and too distracted with the mist and the fog, because that's the stuff you can't see, right? And you're not trusting that if everything falls in a hole, and if you fall in a hole, something will appear and you'll be able to walk yourself out. A staircase will appear, a door will open, somebody will put their hand out and ask you if you need some help. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be you that gets yourself out of it. And that feels like a big step there. The idea of taking someone's hand and letting them help you, that feels big. Now, subconsciously, the King of Swords is at the bottom here. So perhaps you don't like not seeing where you're going. Perhaps you don't like not seeing that bigger picture, which feels like really the key message here that the animal kingdom is giving you. That when you're down in the mire and when you're stuck in the pot, you can't always see the things. Sorry, my dog is just playing at the bottom here. You can't always see things clearly. And you see that the King of Swords, he's used to seeing clearly. He's used to being able to know the right decision, the right thing to do, the right communication to make, because he's able usually, like look at what's behind him. There's the clouds, there's the mists, the fog, whatever, the rolling seas, whatever that is. He's able to put it behind him, and you will too. That's the trust part, pile number 3. You need to trust that you're going to be able to put this behind you, that there's a lesson, that there's a reason for the season that you're in. It's funny because another group has had this card as the clarifier of their guidance. I'm going to take that one right there. Okay, so your guidance card comes in with a lot of feisty energy here. Now, I will bring some signs in. So, hello, puppies. Hi, Minnie. Hi, Spushy. So you've got the cat here. Now, my 2 dogs are in the background, or they're trying to climb over each other. And you've got the cat. And the cat is poised to take, action, to fight. It's got its back reared up. It feels like it's backed into a corner, which, we know cats don't like that. We don't like that. Feel like we have to strike when that's the case. But when you're backed into the corner, into the abyss, into the pot, into this circle where you can't see, clearly with the King of Swords, you don't have that clarity at the moment. You're obstructed, your view's obstructed. Doesn't mean it will be forever, but at the moment that it is. This position that you're in here, the guidance is saying, perhaps, don't take a step yet. Wait and see. Cats are really good at just observing everything, not reacting. Cats are very good at, pretending that they don't notice what's going on, so they can take everything in before they decide, well, is that worth me spending my time on? My dogs are fighting in the background. Or, is it worth my energy? Is it worth my fight? Or am I to move on without letting this bother me? Is this person worthy of my angst, my time? Now, we have 2 significant cards here. The Wheel of Fortune is telling you that, significant change is happening. If you're at the bottom right now, you're going to come back up to the top. Again, we've got that circular form. So circles might be super important for you because we're talking about signs, and perhaps you're going to notice. Perhaps you're going to notice the circular stuff coming in. Then we've got the Judgment card. And this is a card of maybe feeling judged. Maybe you're feeling judged by what I'm talking about. Maybe you're feeling, the cat here is very much reacting to something. So maybe you're feeling that, you've been hard done by. And maybe that's because you're in the pot. You feel like you're in the cooking order, you know what I mean? That you kind of can't get out of that. But now we want to have a look at what Animal Kingdom signs to look out for you, to either know if you're on the right or the wrong path. So we've got Pelican, let go of your judgments, forgiveness. So I did talk about you feeling judged. So perhaps, and look how the Pelican is smoothly sailing. The water is calm, the background is calm, the wings are open, and there's an ability to see up and over. Now, I don't know if you need one more card. Okay, they're saying yes. So maybe look out for pelicans, look out for, signs and symbols about forgiveness. And then we've got two more. We've got horse, which is freedom, and pathfinder. And they came out stuck to each other, these two. So perhaps for you, deer is trust your instincts to guide you through this situation. Perfect messaging. Horse is about freedom. You always have a choice. Now, your new path is coming in. You can't see it at the moment. It's being obscured from you, but only until the right timing. Let go of judgment of the situation, of other people, of yourself, and you'll start being able to see it, and the path will appear. And then you'll start being able to get some more choices in there for you. I hope you've enjoyed this pile 3. Some really interesting messages for you. If you've made it all this way to the end, please give it a big thumbs up. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you would like to win a private reading with me, there is a link in the description box for my Facebook page, and each week I give away one free reading. If you follow me on Facebook, you will be able to see how to enter that each week. Please share this with family and friends if you got some joy or got some value out of it, and please comment below and let me know how you found this message. Thanks for being here. See you soon. Bye for now. Hi there, pile number 3. If you chose this beautiful traffic-like feather almost and the firefly, then this is your reading today, all about the signs from the animal spirit kingdom. Now, the fact that I mentioned that this was a traffic light, so, you could be on green for go, you could be on amber for wait, or you could be on red for stop. Now, that's super funny. I feel like I've just done a primary school kind of, community service announcement or something like that. So, that may be appropriate to you. I wouldn't have been called to say it if it wasn't going to come into this reading in some way. You may also want to think about what that traffic light symbology means for you. Again, we're looking at signs with this reading. Now, we have the firefly, and you can see that the same colours, which I mentioned earlier, are in this particular card. We have the yellow, the orange, and then we have this touch of green, okay? So we could be looking at solar plexus, sacral, and the heart. Mostly solar plexus and sacral, and maybe a little bit of the heart. But you also have a lot of orange. So now that I'm calling that out, I'm just going to show you. I won't tell you what these cards are just yet, but you have a lot of orange and yellow in your cards. You have another card that's orange, another card that's yellow. So yeah, solar plexus and sacral energy here for you. Right, let's get on with it. Sometimes I just talk myself, round and round in circles. So the firefly, there's a big bang going on here. You know what I mean? And perhaps this has turned you upside down. Perhaps there's a shock. Perhaps there's something coming into your life that is disrupting things. Perhaps things are being reorganized. Perhaps there's a move or someone moving in, someone moving out. They're kind of like the first messages that I'm getting here around moving, around changing things, perhaps a new job or someone coming in. You've worked somewhere for a long time, or you've been somewhere for a long time and you've left it. But solar plexus energy, so perhaps you're, and sacral, so perhaps you're, not, your self-esteem is maybe low, or your self-esteem is being questioned by you. The firefly feels like it's a really insignificant little creature too. So it's an insect. I think it's the only insect we have. No, that's not true. But firefly is so small, and it's such a small little thing, and then it's lighting up all that darkness around them. So perhaps you feel like, and your other card, one of your other cards is actually so similar. So perhaps you feel like there's a lot of darkness around you. Perhaps you feel like, you only have a little light. Perhaps your mission in life feels really big. Perhaps your workload in life feels really big. Perhaps you're running on empty. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things here that are talking about your, your energy levels, your ability to adapt, your ability to move through the changes that are happening for you, to stay on top of the changes so you feel confident, comfortable, and feel full of energy. Yeah, it's really interesting, that firefly, that idea that, you might feel small around this big mighty darkness, around this big challenge, or this big work that you might have to do, whatever that is for you. There's this big challenge, and it's in the reverse. So it feels like you're struggling or you're being challenged. So I don't want to say that, because not everyone's going to feel like they're struggling, and I don't want to put words into your mouth, but you are going through a big challenge at the moment, pile number 4. I always have a choice. And then we have those 3 colors again, the red, yellow, and green. I choose to believe that it's easy to change a thought or a pattern. So this is what I'm talking about. There is change coming up. This is a message from your animal spirit guide, so the firefly. And I love the firefly being a guide for you, pile 4, because, whether whichever part you're in, stop, wait, or go, and maybe you're experiencing all 3 of them, and maybe it's frustrating and you feel like you're not moving forward. That's not going to be for everybody, because there is change here. So a lot of you are feeling the movement, but maybe you're not feeling like there's a lot of choice for you. Maybe you're feeling like your personal choice has been taken away, because now I'm looking at the challenges here. Everything I do is by choice. So this is the challenges for you. I am willing to change and grow. So yeah, we've really got a lot of change. I now listen to what I say, and I don't say anything that I don't want to become true for me. Super important. When I am ready to make positive changes in my life, I attract whatever I need to help me. So as I said, pile number 4, you're going through a big change. There's this passion, excitement, and desire. They're big ones. Solar plexus, sacral. So sacral energy. What are you inspired by? What are you drawn to? And that's the firefly. Makes a lot of sense here too, because the firefly doesn't have to struggle to light. You know what I mean? Like the firefly is its own brightness, and it doesn't think when it's going into the darkness, shit, I have to try and light up all of this. It doesn't think that way. The firefly is happy being itself, and it shines its light. This bright, bright orange. This is your desire. This is your passion. When you're doing what you're passionate about, you won't be thinking, I've got to light everything up for everybody else. I've got to pierce through this darkness. You don't. You have a choice. And when you do it for yourself, the firefly, it's like you get guided. You get guided to do the things that you enjoy. And when you're doing the things that you enjoy, they don't feel like work. They don't feel like a struggle. You feel like you have a choice. You feel like it's under your conditions that you are willing to grow and change. You get to choose. It's your choice. Everything I do is by choice. I love that for you, pile number 4. Sorry, I keep forgetting which pile you are. What are you missing? Okay. What are you missing in this? The animals, I keep going to say animal spirit. The animal kingdom here is alerting you to this fact that you are missing this part here. And you can see that we've got berries. We've got a lot of leaves here too. So it feels like there could be a bit of confusion and a bit of, mist around what's going on. You might not be able to see your way through this situation, which is why the leaves, there's lots of leaves there, disguising or hiding the fruit. So you might not be able to see all the way through to where you want to. But what we have here is agreement. So everything I do is by choice. There's a part of you here that chose to do this, whether this is at a soul level or whether this is someone gives you a choice to do this and this. And I like in my head, I'm going, yeah, but if the choice is, you know, you go hungry or you have a roof over your head, you know, if you have to make the choice between those two things, they don't feel like I get to choose because I'm choosing things that I think I need both of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there may be a thing here where you're feeling like you haven't had full choice in this matter. And I really do get that, but the animal kingdom is drawing me back to this. This is a time of cleansing for you. This is a time of communication. This is a time of also magic for you, I feel like. But there is an agreement here. The Libra significators here. There is a sign. There is the sign of the feather, which is you, you know, signing something, saying that you would come here for this time, for this thing, for this challenge that's going on for you. And again, we have red, so base chakra, and yellow, so sacral. So just be aware that while you may feel like your back has been pushed up against the wall and you haven't made some of these choices, the firefly and the animal kingdom is telling you you did make these choices and you may not like that and you may turn off. I can't control that. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the message that I have here. Now I'm going to come back to the signs for you to look out for in the animal kingdom. They're coming just near the end. So the next message for you is the message, and it's inspiration and it's reversed. And to me, these two couldn't be more clear. When you know what lights you up, you don't need to worry about how dark everything feels around you. You are going to light it up, and it's going to be like a light that is undimmable. I don't even know if that's a word. And that's who you're going to be. And you're not going to worry about the challenge of lighting the darkness up, because you know that simply by being there, you are an inspiration to other people, but you're inspired internally, and you don't feel tired and run down and like you need to try hard to do this, because it's within you. It's internally motivating you. And I really love that for you. Now, subconsciously, what's going on for you? You may be in some new territory. So we've got Page of Wands. So you may be in this new territory, and we've got Six of Swords here. You may be leaving a situation, and I have talked about that. I talked about you starting something, someone leaving something, or someone moving in. So there's the moving card. So there's a change happening around you and your situation, whatever the situation is. The Page of Wands is telling me that you're starting it, and maybe you don't feel that comfortable, but the Page of Wands has lots of excitement. It's a good news card. It is talking about, you know, your passion, your willingness to give it a go. And the Six of Swords is talking about exploring, discovering, moving on. So a great card. And this is all subconscious. So this is what, you know, what's below the surface, and maybe not the lessons, that's not the right word. It's like the background situation that's happening. I don't know, that's weird, that's confusing, because I haven't seen that for any of the other groups, but there's a different level of awareness for this group that is about that idea of moving on. You have a different level of awareness about your situation that perhaps other people haven't seen, or the other groups haven't seen. So then we have your guidance, which is the Fire Dragon. This is awesome, this card. I'm going to read from this book because I have a really good idea of what this is meaning for you, but I wanted a clearer picture. Transmutation, mastery, energy. This drag tian brings vitality, enthusiasm, and courage, and an increased ability to overcome obstacles and find the energy needed to cope with life's problems. Perfect for you. Having the powerful Fire Dragon is an ally. as an ally, will align you with the qualities of leadership and mastery. And I know some of you are thinking, that's not where I'm going. It is where you're going. With care, he will fuel your inner fire, which can be directed and channeled with laser-like precision to help you accomplish tasks and achieve objectives. Transmutation, mastery, and energy. I absolutely love this for you. And the card shows the flaming dragon of King Arthur's vision. In the distance, we see Glastonbury Tor. Legend tells us of the secret cave within the Tor, used for perhaps initiations. Flaming dragons often guard such caverns to prevent their desecration by the greedy and to offer their treasure to those who are worthy. In the foreground, lying on the rock, is a gold torque, a Celtic neck ring indicating high status, rulership, and mastery. So I feel like you're going through this, almost transmutation by fire, and you've got somewhere where you're going. That the dragon is looking towards the Tor, so you know where you're headed. Oops. The Wheel of Fortune here is indicating you're leveling up, you're going to the next level, you're reaching the mastery, you're reaching the more experience, the more practice, the whatever you want to call it. You are going to the next level. And so you've had to let go of some of the old stuff, which is very challenging, very, very challenging. It's really easy to want to resist. These are two of your animals to take notice of. Turtle, which is about retreat and stop trying to make things happen. And monkey, ingenuity, which is the situation calls for adaptability and innovation. And I love those things for you. Absolutely. Monkey, so you may see monkeys, you may see turtles. And if you do, then this message is that, it's about ingenuity and retreat. But they're also a sign that you're on the right path, that you're going where you need to go. And maybe the monkey might come up if you need to change tact. But you also got owl. And owl is about omens and it's about watching for the signs. So, I'm glad you stayed right to the end, pile 4, if you have. Pay attention to the signs. That is the last message from the animal kingdom for you. This is a big, strong reading for you. There's a lot going on, pile number 4. You have an amazing, amazing energy within you and around you. This is a great message and a great guide to connect with. Thank you for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this message. I know it's a challenging time for you. Transmutation and change is not easy, but you are moving on to bigger and better things. Thanks for being here. Please give this reading a big thumbs up. Hope to see you in a reading in the future. Please make sure to follow me on Facebook and share this video if you've enjoyed it. Bye for now.